that Bronwyn. Good morning, everyone. It's morning here, and I think it's morning for most of us still. Welcome to the NACo Tech Exchange webinar. It's a smaller group, and we just make this available every once in a while to go over the benefits and what is in the Tech Exchange available to you at the county from the technology perspective. So we want to thank you for being here. It will be more interactive. As I said, a smaller group, and I encourage you to ask questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. And I love the fact that we all have our cameras on because it just helps to see, who we're interacting with. So thank you. I'm going to take a minute since we have a smaller group and introduce myself, but then I'm going to ask Brittany and Damien to introduce themselves as well, so that you can get a good idea of the team here at NACo when it comes to technology programming. I am Rita Reynolds, the CIO, the Chief Information Officer at NACo, and have been in IT for well over 30 years, about 33, and spent most of that, about 21 years, working at the State Association in Pennsylvania and overseeing the internal, but also working with the county IT leaders there. Able to come to NACo about 2.5 years ago, and I'm doing the same thing, working and really just from a strategy perspective for oversight of the internal, spending most of my time these days on the Tech Exchange, that network of our county IT leaders. And also we do have some elected officials on there who have an interest and want to see some of the discussions and or maybe have a background in technology. So that's who I am. Brittany, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Gallardian. I'm the Tech Programs Associate here at NACo, and I assist with the management of NACo's external technology programs, including the oversight and maintenance of IT membership and our partner engagements. I graduated from American University here in Washington, D.C. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. And I have experience interning for the White House for information technology, as well as a health IT consulting firm. And I'm really excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
All right, thank you, Brittany. And Damien, if you would introduce yourself as well.
Hi, my name is Damien. I'm at Florida State University right now, getting my master's degree in cybersecurity. I started working with NACo over the summer, working with the Tech Exchange program, and have been able to extend that into the school year now. So I've been working primarily on kind of the back end with our systems, but then also getting the Tech Exchange community's website up and running. So in this meeting today, I'll do a little walkthrough showing different ways to utilize that site. And then if you have any questions about it, I'm here to help you out with that. So I'm happy to meet with you all today.
All right, thank you. And since we do have a smaller group, if you all would like to introduce yourselves, we can start with Bronwyn. If you just your name, county, and your title, that would be great. And maybe something you're interested in hearing about today specifically. You're on mute, Bronwyn. Okay, hold on.
Am I okay now? Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, Bronwyn Asplund, County Commissioner from Clare County, Michigan. I was a county commissioner in New Hampshire, Merrimack County, New Hampshire for 12 years, moved to Michigan 2 years ago, and was elected county commissioner here. And I find that Clare County is in dire need of broadband services. People here just cannot get access to internet. So that's what I'm interested specifically.
Well, and we do have those conversations for sure on the Tech Exchange. Lisa, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Lisa Reeves with Orange County in Texas, and I'm the IT director for the county. I've been here 26 years. Not as the IT director the whole time, but I kind of worked my way up. So I'm just here. I'm on the listserv, and I've gotten a lot of helpful information from that, but I thought I'll see what else I might be missing. So just thought I would check it out.
Great, awesome. Shelley, if you would introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon. Good morning. I'm Shelley James, and I work for the City of Florida City, and I'm in charge of grant administration and management consulting. The reason I'm here is because I'm in charge of all of the American Rescue Plan.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I am, and this includes the broadband, and I am very interested in knowing more about the broadband in terms of how I can connect, our low to moderate income individuals, as well as work with our small businesses. This is very important to us. We're a small community, we're about 12,000 people. So I'm very interested in knowing, coming up with different business strategies on how I can help this population.
All right, and hopefully what we covered today will help inform some of that for you.
Great.
Karen, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry I'm joining late. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
great.
No worries. Go ahead.
I didn't catch. I think we're just talking about what we're to gather here, much like someone who I just listened to just joining in. I've gotten a great deal of value from being part of the Tech Exchange, and I just thought, I just saw this, so I thought I'd jump on, because sometimes I struggle trying to find what I'm looking for, and I think I just haven't really taken the time to explore. So I thought I'd jump on and maybe pick something up from that. So
Excellent. I appreciate it. And then we do have Commissioner Graham that's joined as well. Don't want to put you on the spot there, Commissioner Graham. If you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get started with our review of Tech Exchange. It's a smaller group, and we knew that we would have the ability to record this as well. So if you would like to say a few words, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you. I was sort of late getting on, apologize for that, and just appreciate everything that you've done, Rita, to move this Tech Exchange thing forward and the changes you've made, and look forward to being part of that. So, and I really like the conversation. I said something yesterday on a membership call, and Commissioner Constance, who was the chair, I think, of IT standing, if I'm not mistaken, the last couple of years, is really focused and did a good job in making sure that the smaller counties are not left out. And I think that in the membership meeting, I think that became a very obvious opportunity to really push membership and return on investment on what the IT Standing Committee is doing, to be able to provide some services for counties very similar to ours and smaller that just don't have the resources to be able to go out and contract those services. So I really look forward to what you're doing with that Standing Committee and Tech Exchange, Rita. So thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. And so that's a good segue into the Tech Exchange overview today. What I want to talk about is, who it is for, what are the two main areas of the Tech Exchange, the discussion platform, many folks refer to it as a listserv, and then our Tech Exchange portal that we are continuing to add resources to. We'll go through all of that, and we're going to cover how to access each of those two main areas, as well as the features, but also the future. Really looking for any opportunity for feedback today, and of course, always through our discussion group. All right, so the first thing is, what is the Tech Exchange? One of the goals of NACo is to create what we call a network of networks. And we started out when I came on board 2.5 years ago that the NACo needed a blueprint or a roadmap for technology services and programming for counties. And I worked really actively in the beginning to put together what we called the pillars of the Tech Exchange. And the main pillar is membership engagement. So the very first area that we tackled was creating an email, an Office 365 group where our IT leaders at the county and some elected officials who have an IT background or an IT interest could interject and respond to questions we might put out to this group email and share questions among and between each other. We migrated to a new platform in August. You're going to see that in a little bit. And the discussion among the county IT leaders and staff it's been great. A lot of feedback we get is how valuable it is. It's helping counties to share problems and projects that they might be working on, looking for solutions and best practices. And they're asking those questions of peers that are also, you could be in New Jersey and your peer could be in California and you're sharing information. So it is also a way for us at NACo to share out information that's coming from the national, the state, or the local news, and as well as educational events and emerging trends and issues in all areas of technology, and it including is the gamut, as you can see in the circle there. It's cyber, broadband, cloud computing, data privacy, data governance. Those are, along with innovative ideas, automation, are a lot of the topics that happen on the Tech Exchange. And every day there's something being posted and folks replying in email. That's the nice thing. You can have access to this anywhere you go when it comes to the email. And we have as I said, Damien's going to go over the site in just a little bit. And it's to help you learn more of what's there. So let me spend a little bit of time about who can subscribe. We really are focused on counties when it comes to the NACo Tech Exchange. We have some what I call city/counties. I learned a couple weeks ago, we did what's called a NACo University. And in my life in Pennsylvania, we have Philadelphia. I knew that Philadelphia was a county and a city. And then there are across the United States a number of other examples of that. So when we get a request for membership, we evaluate that to make sure that we're staying true to who NACo works with directly, but really working not to exclude other IT leaders. So it's your CIOs, your IT directors, key IT staff. It might be a network administrator who is the deputy IT director. You could wear multiple hats. And then, of course, elected officials. We don't have a large group of elected officials, but we do have a number of folks in that category. And the nice thing is, with the new platform, you can set the messages to come in real time or a daily digest or a weekly digest as well. And I know that that's something a number of folks prefer, especially if this is not their main area of work. And finally, there are some others by permission. And what I mean by that is we have state associations, a number of their staff that are focused on IT are members because we work directly with counties through the state associations. We have an entity in New York that works predominantly with county leaders. So we do make exceptions because we don't want to exclude anyone. At the same time, we want to stay true to our main membership. There are a lot of confidential, I wouldn't say completely confidential, but discussions about county interaction. And we want folks to be able to know that their comments aren't going anywhere, their emails aren't going to be forwarded, that it really is within this network. So that's who can subscribe. So now, as I mentioned, Tech Exchange is broken down into really two areas. The discussion community, which we now are referring to as the basic subscription, and then the portal, which is the unlimited subscription. And we're going to get into more details on that. So first of all, I'm going to talk to this slide real quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to Damien to do a couple more slides, and then I will unshare my screen, and he's going to share his screen and bring up the actual website that goes along with the discussion community. As I mentioned, we went to a new platform because it gives us access to additional features that we didn't have on the Office 365 group, and also some additional tech resources. And it also enables us to have what we call sub communities. And we have a number of corporate partners that have embarked on that with us. So Damien, I am going to turn it over to you. And do you want me to, I can advance the slide for you if you like.
Yeah, if you could advance the slides for me, I'll walk through that. And then after that, I'll go to the actual website and do a brief walkthrough. And then for anybody who's here, if you have questions regarding something specific, feel free to chime in, because this is for you to help you better understand this. But what you see right here is the homepage of the site, and I'll walk through how you can log in a minute. But on the site, the main group is the NACo Tech Exchange community group, which is where, as Rita was saying, those county IT leaders across the country are engaging in discussions. And from there, you can engage with them yourselves and see them. So as you can see in the diagram, there are different discussions going on with members of the community, and you can access them both through the site and also get access to your email also. So that way it can try to be as convenient for you. If you want to advance. Here are a few of the features of the site. One of them is, since these discussions are held on a platform, we're able to store them, so you can easily search, archive previous discussions. You can access other people's profiles and connect with other IT leaders across the country. Like Rita said, you can adjust your notification settings to get real-time notifications if that's what you like, or you can reduce your notifications to a daily or weekly if that's what you'd prefer. You can have access to a member directory, which allows you to search other people either in your county or just other people in the group as well. And by connecting with different people, you can send direct emails and have conversations with other leaders. In general, it's a way to engage with different people and be a great resource for you to be able to do that. Is there any questions on that? If not, we'll move on to the next slide. So talked on it a bit, but the benefits of it is really being able to access those previous discussions and be able to search them in the database. I'll show how to do that, but it's very simple. And you can connect with other members and engage with people who have different areas of expertise. And we'll talk on it in this meeting as well, but you can gain participation points and see your participation over time and gain like little rewards based on your engagement.
All right, and Damien mentioned about the awards. We'll talk about that near the end here. So Damien, I'll stop sharing my screen, and you want to pull up the actual. So in addition to the email itself that you use, there's that actual website that has the archived messages and some other features. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Damien will share his screen now.
Brittany, I think you might need to enable screen sharing, either you or Rita.
Yeah, Brittany will need to do that for us, please.
And then, like I said, I'll go through kind of how to log in for the very first time for people who have not logged into the site yet. And then we can explore a few of the features of the site. And like I said, if you have questions or if something's not making sense to you, or if you want to know how to be able to do something, please let me know and I'll gladly go over that. So here is the home site. If we go to just communities.naco.org, that will bring you up to the login page. If you have never logged into the site before, for the first time, you're going to want to click can't access your account. And then that'll it'll prompt you to set your password. So you'll enter in your email address, send a password link, and then that'll initiate you to set your password and log into the site for the first time. Everybody who's in the NACo community, the NACo Tech Exchange, has an account set up, but you'll need to do this to initiate it and be able to log in. Once you...
Commissioner Graham, did you have a question? Your hand was raised.
Yeah, but I was just going to wait. The question was, I know I looked at some documents that were saved at one time on the Tech Exchange. I was just going to ask if all that has been transferred over, or we're starting with the new platform fresh. So, but I could have waited, but thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, and that's a great question. We actually have both still going, and I'll cover that in a little bit.
So if you're having trouble logging in anywhere on the site, you can click send us a message, and that'll send an email to our Tech Exchange help email. So if you're having trouble, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to get you set up. But once you get logged in, you'll be able to see and engage with different aspects of the site. So from here, here's our welcome with links out to different resources and aspects of the Tech Exchange. And here you can find the Tech Exchange community, that general one that Rita was showing. And this is the main community site where people are engaging in conversations, the NACo Tech Exchange.
Your list would be, let me just interrupt, your list would be very short. You would either see NACo Tech Exchange or the sub-community of Esri or Fireeye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And as you can see, there are currently over 700 members here. So this is a great way to be able to engage with a lot of different people in IT across the country. And there's been over 200 discussion posts. So it's really an active and engaging way to be able to connect with a lot of different people. If you're having trouble navigating the site, you can download a user guide here, or like I said, email us and we'll be glad to help you out. But you can search and engage with a lot of different discussions that are going on the site. And one, like Rita said, I'll hop on that. She said about the Esri and Fireeye communities. So right now we have sub communities. You can find them by going to communities and tech corporate partners. And here you'll be able to find those sub communities that enable you to engage with different people from these organizations and have tailored conversations regarding these specific topics. So you'll be able to join them. And then from here, you'll be able to see they're open to everybody in the Tech Exchange. So it's open to the same amount of people, but these are where you can have more tailored conversations and engaging with people from, in this case, Esri or our different communities. So that's an exciting feature open to all members of the Tech Exchange as well. And then one last, or a couple different things. Like I said, you can search different people by clicking on directory and engage with different people who are members of the Tech Exchange. So you can search based on what county they're a part of or based on their name and connect with them. So say I want to find Rita's profile here. I can search her and then add her as a friend and a contact. And then I can engage with her or different members of my county or nearby counties who are also members of the Tech Exchange.
So, and if you could go back to the directory, not the, like where the directory is listed, and just scroll down and show the whole list from there. So if you hit search, right, if you hit find members, it will bring up everyone if you don't put anything in there, if I remember correctly.
You might need to give it a clarifying thing, perhaps.
Yeah, I know that, and my apologies here, because I know that I did see where you can see all the members. Can you go ahead and put in, or click on directory at the top
Mm-hmm.
and 'cause I was scrolling down and looking at them, and then scroll down again. And right here, so if you click find members, you're not going to be able to see anyone, and will it ask you for criteria?
It's going to ask for
Yeah.
some sort of criteria, I believe.
So here's a suggestion. Let's do in the email address. Do you have to be exact, or can you just put the word gov in there, like .gov?
I can find out right now.
All
Okay,
right.
yeah.
We'll make sure to share that this is actually really good, because I was curious how many have .gov, so that's good to see. But yeah, if you know the county you're looking for or the state, any of those options will get you a list of those that are members on here. So and later on, we're going to talk about adding your photo. We really want to have people get to know each other. So Damien, I'll kick it back to you.
Great. Yeah. And one other feature is that search feature. I know a few of you were talking about broadband, so you could search that and see what conversations have been about that. And it'll pull up any references of that. So here you can see Rita mentioned it in one of her weekly notes. You can also see how people are talking about like two-factor authentication or searching.
MFA, try MFA. There we go.
And then here you can see in a number of different conversations it's been talked on. So I can click on these and engage in these different posts from prior dates. So this is a great way to find old previous conversations and see what people are talking about, different topics of interest to you. And then the last thing is that profile picture. We'd love to see all your pretty faces. So if you tap on that icon in the top and hit profile, that's where you'll be able to set up a lot of your profile information, including adding a profile picture for you here. So again, if you're having trouble with the site or having trouble finding something, feel free to send us a message and we'll be happy to help you out. But here's the site where a lot of great conversations are happening, and we'd be very happy to have you as an active member of this Tech Exchange community.
So one other area, and this gets to Commissioner Graham's question about where are the documents living. There is a library here that if someone attaches a document to an email, it gets put into the library. Can you show that, Damien?
At the top bar where we have browse, you can browse what discussion posts have been happened or library entries. That's the way that the website classifies basically email attachments or files that have been attached. So here you can find the weekly Tech Exchange notes, but then also attachments about, say, cyber insurance. And here's where you can find those files that people have attached in that browse library entries field.
And why we haven't moved the portal documents over is that to date right now, we have not found this to have the functionality that we need from a file structure or a folder structure. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Not to say we won't merge the two at some point, but for now we're keeping them separate. What you see today right here is part of the basic subscription. And that's as you all know, we were able to provide this at no cost for about a year and a half. And then we switched to this platform. We have made the decision a low cost based on population size. And the basic is still no cost. The part I'm going to show you now is what we call the unlimited. And it's going to give you access to a lot of documents, policies, and so forth. So Damien, I will go back to sharing my screen.
Sure thing. Are
Unless
there any questions people have
Right.
about the website? If any come to you over time, feel free to let us know, but I'll kick it back to you, Rita.
All right. So I'm going to pick up with a few slides and then we'll go out to the Tech Exchange portal is what we call it. All right. So this is the link to the portal. It is on our SharePoint, our internal SharePoint that we host. And that's another reason why we really are keeping the documents here. As I said, I'll show you what that looks like. You do have a username and password that many of you would have created or already had from your Office account. So if you have Office 365, then you would be able to have access to this. And if you don't, you just have to have an Office account, which is free. And Damien and or Brittany can walk you through that. We have tech staff as well. But once it's set up, then you are able to have access to a lot of different features, which include the technology policy templates. They come from counties. We've collected them. We continue to collect them. Job descriptions, some toolkits and best practices, and then links to what not just technology offerings through NACo that may be at a cost under our Financial Services Corporation side, but also links to national resources that you need to be aware of from IT leadership, whether you're a county, city, doesn't matter. These links, it's an easy place to go to see what should I be aware of at the national level. And of course, the benefits is that once you're in, it's easy access. They are county focused resources. Made a commitment that it's great when you go to look for a technology policy, but if I put that in my Bing search or my Google search, I'm going to get ones that are designed for education, for universities, for companies. It's okay, but I want a county one. I want one that will shorten my workload here. And so that's what we've done. We've had some best practice ones that maybe a number of us collaborated together, but I found just collect the county ones, put them in one place, and then you can read through, and whether you're a small county, medium size or large, there's something there for you. Because some of the technology acceptable use policies could be 20 pages long. Maybe you don't need 20 pages. There might be another one that's 3 pages long. We really leave it up to you to use those resources. We put national information out there. I have an IT newsletter that I put out on the Tech Exchange every month, and we have been putting them here as well as the weekly notes that I put out. So making it easy to find. And as I said, we as NACo staff vet what we're putting up there. We're not just taking it and uploading it, we're reading it and making sure that, oh yeah, this is county focused. This is what we believe other counties would be interested in. All right, so don't look at that screen yet. Let me stop my sharing, and I want to show you the site. And it will just take me a second to scroll to it. As soon as I find it, there it is. Okay. All right, so here's the real site. We have a couple things I might not have mentioned. And so I'll go through this. We have what are called tech portal partners, the same partners that are over on the community platform, but here they actually have a website, a microsite, if they want to maintain it. I'm guessing for the coming year, depending on how the sub-communities go, we may migrate all of this over there so it's in one place. And then this discussion community will take you back to the other platform. Here's where we've put emerging topics. As you can see, COVID-19, if I click on that, you're going to see some of the documentation that we put out there. There was a software guide, some information about KnowBe4, and it's still like, we're still using it. It's not something that's going to go away. We also have virtual meeting guide. and then some information on GIS. Really where I want to focus is on the library. And I'm just going to jump to policies right now. When you go into, you left click on the policies and you'll see there's folders for quite a few areas. And these might not be, the numbers might not be completely accurate because there's subfolders. But if I go into acceptable use, for example, you're going to see 10 different policies here. And we put out emails and we ask folks to contribute. And we'll do it again because we just started this last year. But it's great to see, oh, why don't I open up a couple of these and download them and see if they'll work, see if what's in there that maybe I want to add to my acceptable use policy. You also can see the dates when they were added as well. And then we'll go back to policies because I do want to show the one section on security. As I said, I'm not going to go through all of them. What we do ask of you though is if you see one that or see something that's not here, tell us and we'll start, sending out the email and collecting them. So here's our security one. And these are all different counties that gave us their incident plan. Pinal County gave us a playbook that they use. And if I go into Fairfax, he gave us several different policies that they use that are related to their security. Get back here. Oh, sorry. And then I know Loudoun County gave us quite a few as well. It just stands out to me. I'm looking to see if it's under the security section. And we do have a specific folder for CJIS where we were able to get a specific CJIS policy. So one of the things Brittany will be working on is requesting more information from counties to add to our policy templates or our policy folders. We have over 200 different artifacts right now. I also want to take you into the job descriptions, and we have folders right now with job descriptions in them for the CIO and IT director, CISO, help desk, network administrator, and webmaster. Same thing here. If I go into the CIO IT director, you'll see there's quite a few here. And we are very happy to have those. And they're county specific. So again, you're doing a Google or Bing search for CIO description, you're going out to Ladders or to any of those, you're going to get general descriptions. These are going to give you more county specific job responsibilities, still tied to CIO, but a little bit more focused. Then we started adding RFPs, and we will continue to do that. I have some emails from some folks that I want to respond to. What I do when I see them, I ask, may we add this to the portal? And I saw a couple RFPs the other day, and I want to add those as well. If there's a specific area that you're going to be going out for RFP and you don't see it here, let me know. And we'll do a quick email out to the Tech Exchange and see who has some RFPs are willing to share. As you know, RFPs are public information. So you could do this on your own, Bing, Google search, call individual people. This shortens the amount of time that you have to invest and research to find samples and templates that you can rework. And you may take a section from one and a section from another. But it does help with definitely cutting down the amount of time you're spending in putting things together on different projects. And then we have a couple toolkits that we've created. This is where we have the telework toolkit. And then in use cases, we have had folks send us some links, and we've added a few things here that we've become aware of on use cases. What I need to do going forward is to look to see how we integrate the two sites. As I said, we like this layout, but that's not what the higher logic, the assessment community gives us. And unless we can get a similar layout, we'll keep the documents here. I want to share external resources for you. I mentioned to you, we have a list of really important resources here that you need to be aware of. CISA, MS-ISAC, Center for Internet Security, NACo, and then there's this one about state IT associations. We are collecting links to whatever state we come across that has a state IT association. I know this list is not complete. When I hear of one, reach out to state associations, I add to it. NACo doesn't want to replace that local state association focus on IT, but we want you to know that you may have a resource locally that you can tap into that may provide more specific types of programming that NACo maybe otherwise would not enter into. This gives you the national presence here in NACo with interacting with peers across the United States. This could give you access into something local as well. And then these other ones I won't spend time on right now, but as I mentioned, the weekly updates get added, the TechX news gets added in one place. Again, a couple of these things we may move over to the discussion community. We have to have a planning session on that before we start moving things. Most importantly, here is where you're going to find those templates and links to the national resources. So let me stop there. Any questions? All right. So we're going to go back, and I just want to finish out today on a couple items of importance. We want you to use the site. And we want members to be engaged. And so we've created I'll call it a game, but prizes. And based on your involvement in the email exchanges and going to the website that Damien showed, you're going to get points for that. And there's some awards, some prizes that we're going to give at the end of December. Basically, there's the gold level, a silver, and a bronze, and the top 10 point earners will receive a gift card of their choosing. And you're thinking, how do I get points? Well, here you go. Add your picture, update your bio. If you want to put some job history in there, great. Education history, you're going to get points for each of those. Reply to a discussion, post a question. Hey, all, I'm looking for A, B, and C. And Damien, correct me if I'm wrong. Every time they post a question or they reply, they get points, right?
Yep, that's the way it's set up.
Okay, so while there's levels back here of 500 points may seem like a lot, it is not when you think about it. So we want to encourage engagement. Best answer has to do with this is engagement. You read somebody else's answer and you're gonna mark it as, there's a little option there on the website on the post itself that you can mark it. And then you can read down the rest of them. But and we'll share this out after we're done. So you have this PowerPoint. We just want to encourage engagement, not just because you can win a prize at the end of December, but because we know the more you engage, the more you get to know each other from that IT professional world, and a few of our elected officials. Commissioner Graham, you're more than welcome to participate in this with us.
I was hoping that you would just send that notice out just to the 12 that are on so that we all have an opportunity to win something. I think that's how it ought to be set up. Just saying.
The NACo staff can't participate, so there you go. All right, I'm in the last few minutes here. I just want to just say the sky's the limit. If there's something you don't see, ask. If there's a feature that maybe you've seen somewhere else and you'd like to see NACo do because you'd like to have everything in one place, ask us. We can't necessarily deliver on everything, but we are looking for more ways to serve you. And we've got some publications that on cybersecurity best practices. Feel free to go through and look for those things. one of the pieces I'll be working on over the coming weeks is sharing a link. Here's where you can find the best practices on cybersecurity, direct you to the site so that we can have more engagement on the portal itself. So any ideas today? Let me stop and see if there are any questions, comments, or thoughts, or something that you were hoping to see that maybe you didn't see.
I have a question.
Sure.
So this is Karen. So two things, actually. I just wanted to thank you for all the resources that you folks and the time that you folks put together to bring something like this to us. I'm actually part of the IT directors in New York State, and we've always had a really great group of folks there, but I want to say that just broadening it with the Tech Exchange has really been wonderful. So thank you for that. And also my challenge coming in, so this has been helpful too. I was looking for the policies under the new platform. So this helped a great deal, just kind of answer that question for me. So thank you. And then one final question. I think you said the policies is part of the paid portion moving forward. So we don't get our budget until 2022. So how does that affect us throughout the rest of the year? Obviously, I have it today. I've been working alongside you this morning. So is there a point when that's going to shut off?
January 1st.
Okay. Okay.
Actually,
so
it'll be the last week of December. But here's the thing: if you are you, and this is true for anyone, if anyone, you can pay for it in 2022, we could still register you and send you the invoice, and you don't have to pay us till January. That's the one thing there. We are giving an early bird for anyone who registers and is invoiced. So if you're not able to pay till January, that's fine. We just need to make sure that it's in the system before December 31st.
Okay, great.
And that is a good segue. Here's the chart that we've shared with everyone, so you can see what you're going to be able to continue to get access to under the basic. And then under the unlimited, we've been archiving the old conversations that were under Office 365. And those we've been putting on the portal. And then I'm just looking, what else I want to mention here. Focus groups. We do a quarterly focus group. The one coming up in December, which you would still be able to participate in under basic, is going to be, we're developing layman's guides for elected officials. The first one is on cyber, and put together a draft. Commissioner Graham, you haven't seen this yet, but it's really, we don't want to make it a long document, but it's the series of questions in layman's terms that you should be asking either your IT support or your IT director. We're just trying to make this more interactive between elected officials and the IT infrastructure, the people that help take care of that. Cyber's one. We're going to do one on workforce retention, and we're going to do one on procurement or budget and procurement. And I forget the last one. We have 4 identified right now. But starting in January, those focus groups will be limited to those that who are part of the unlimited Tech Exchange Unlimited. And as you can see, we've made it as cost effective as possible. But the goal here, and very close to meeting that goal, is to be able to hire a technology program manager so that we can do more programming. We have a project that is going to be in a pilot phase that I'm going to need that person for. It's on what's called the Security Scorecard, tying a questionnaire back to our cyber priorities that we want to give counties access to something that's not as in the weeds as the NCSR, a little bit more high level, that you can sit down with your elected officials and say, I answered these questions. These are, actually, this can be used in conversations with cyber insurance as well. But here's where we're deficit, and we have to address it. Like the very first one is multi-factor. If you don't have multi-factor in place today, not just with email, but VPN, with your remote contractors, your cyber insurance is either A, going to go through the roof if it hasn't already, or you're not going to be able to procure it. And I'm hearing that over and over and over again from county IT directors and CIOs. I was trying to think, there was another piece that was mentioned yesterday that I hadn't even thought about with cyber insurance. It'll come to me. But anyway, let me stop there. We just have one more slide. You've already met us. But Damien, I apologize. I was going to get your picture up there. I'll make sure to do it before I
You
send
can
it
smile right here instead.
You were supposed to catch that. No, it's my fault. Let me open it up to questions. And well, that's a great suggestion, Shelley, about grants administration. And there is some work going on from the policy perspective with ARPA. It's I want to say in the weeds. And so I have some folks at NACo in our innovation department that let me raise this with them. The grants administration piece I've heard multiple times. Any other questions for today?
Rita, I just wanted to touch base a little bit on one of the things you mentioned about the multi-factor authentication, and it's really more towards the cyber insurance policies. I was at a different convention for a different, basically for assessors in Missouri, and there was a presentation made, and there was several examples of the different policies that are available to counties. And in Missouri, and I'm assuming it's like this in several states, that basically the commission or board of supervisors or whatever the structure is are the ones that have to sign off on those agreements. And the issue that we see here is that the largest part of commissioners in Missouri are part-time. They don't understand what the check boxes mean on the insurance policy, and they're checking and signing, and their IT department may not even know that they're signing off on something that's not implemented. So I didn't know, you said you had some kind of a cheat sheet or questionnaire. So I didn't know if you had something that applied directly to the cybersecurity insurance type questions that people need to be looking out for so they don't get caught.
Great question. No, I'm
signing off on something they really don't understand what that means. I mean, if somebody says, multi-factor authentication, and they say, yeah, we have it, do they really know they have it, or are they involving their IT people? So, because most of the time the insurance is done through the commission or through a different level, and never really gets down to the people who know what the questions mean. So
that's right.
Something that might be beneficial to put on there. In fact, I was going to go look through the cybersecurity stuff on the website to see if there's any examples of that on your site.
It will be. I have it in my email. It's one of the things I was actually working with. We have a consultant that does security assessments for NACo, and I asked that question, and he said, I have the Beasley one here. I'm like, send it to me. And so I had that one, and I have a couple others, but they're stuck in my email, and I will get them up as soon as I get them up on the portal, I will let you know, Commissioner Graham. I'll actually let the whole community know. And I'll make that a priority so that I can get it up there sooner than later. But you're right. I ran into this right when cyber insurance was first really being promoted. I want to say 2013, 14. And the first year in my former, where I worked before, the first year we got cyber insurance, it was one question. And that was all I saw. And then the next year, fortunately, I knew to ask, can you make sure you let me see that questionnaire? I've talked to a lot of counties where the risk manager has just filled it out and maybe called IT and said, hey, do we have this? And the IT doesn't know what they're filling out. And you answer partially or with a yes, when you might have not answered with a yes if you had seen the complete question. It's not a knock on risk managers or other county staff. It's a new process, and some just don't realize what they need to do. But like I said, let me get those questionnaires. I'll pull them from my email and get them up on the site. All right, we're at the end of the hour just about. I appreciate your time, everyone, and I really appreciate the support of our members. It's always good to see you on days like today, and feel free to reach out to any one of us. We will answer your questions, or if we don't know the answer, we'll find an answer. So thank you again, and have a great rest of your week.